Yeah, okay, Jana, thank you very much for inviting me to the CEP office in Utrecht. We meet in the Netherlands today, and we want to talk about what the Confederation of European Probation is about, and how it works, and what the mission and vision and goals are, and why people should follow what you do when they work in probation. But that's for the second part, and in the first part we want to talk about Jana Spero Kamenjarin now, because you've been married for a while now. What motivates you to work in probation? What were, things in your life that maybe led you on that path? So I would start with your biography, and I read your CV, but that only starts after school, when you started studying law, and your professional career is very impressive, but when it comes to motivation and things you believe in, I think it's might make sense to even look a little bit further back. You were born in 1982, I think, in Croatia.
Yes.
So you had a childhood there, and you went to school there as well, and you experienced things as a juvenile before you started studying, and that were difficult times in the former Yugoslavia, and so you more or less were a child of war. So could you tell us a little bit about how your childhood and your juvenile years were, and were there any experiences you made that led you on the path to become a lawyer and also to be interested in criminal law?
Thank you so much, Joe. It's my honor and pleasure to be your guest in your amazing series of interviews. And I'm really happy that I have a possibility to promote Confederation of European Probation, but it's also very nice that you are interested in me starting from childhood. I haven't been talking about this for, I don't know if I've ever given an interview this way. So yes, you're right. I am, me and CEP have this in common. CEP was created in 1981. I came to this world in 1982, so we are similar age. And yes, I was born in Croatia, and unfortunately in the 90s we had a homeland war that really did put a lot of influence on everyone's life. It was a hard period. For me it was the hardest, because we kind of lost this childhood as it was supposed to be, and some early teenage years. We became very serious very early. So I guess that the situation that was happening, the horror about us, the uncertainty about the future, and the fear did left a lot of consequences. For me, it meant that I really wanted to see how to protect human rights, how to, it was some beginning of maybe thinking of being a lawyer, but not exactly like that. But in school, I was always a really good student. I loved school from the day one. I was a child who couldn't wait for the holidays to stop, so that I can be again in school with my friends, colleagues, and to learn more. I always wanted to learn more, and I always wanted to change something. And probably this is also the consequence of the life that was changing so drastically around me.
I mean, I personally never experienced anything like a war myself, so
I hope you will never experience it.
So what was it like?
You know how they say, what doesn't kill you make you stronger. So you just want to be a grown-up and you want to help. And part of me felt very sad that I couldn't contribute in the homeland war, because I was a child. But then when I started studying law, I was immediately interested in international humanitarian law. So I started being one of those students who are very interested in this. I attended extra classes with the international criminal law. I went to a mute court competition, international one, and my team was a winner, which really helped me understand that I can really do some good. And I started cooperation with ICRC and giving some lectures about the humanitarian law, and it was really nice, and it was setting the way to later on when I graduated.
But that was when you were already studying. Just two more questions about the time before that. Was any of your family physically harmed by the war, or did it just were you lucky because you lived in the very west of Croatia?
I was really lucky because I lived in the west, so yeah.
Okay, and school just carried on like before, and there were no distractions?
There were some interruptions, and it was very different, and a lot of things changed because, for example, when I was in elementary school, we didn't have enough room inside the school, so we were in a separate building, and the classes had 45 students at the time because of the refugees, because 1/3 of Croatia was occupied, and a lot of, not just people from Croatia, but also a lot of refugees from Bosnia and Herzegovina also came to Croatia. We gave them a shelter, so everybody was located in the areas where there were no combats going on.
Okay, but then you finished school and you had the chance to enter university, and as you just said, you decided to study law, and that was also because of the experiences you made in these difficult times, or would you have done it anyway?
Well, I was thinking of psychology.
Yeah.
I was thinking of going to psychology, but actually to go to the law school, there's a lot of influence of my mom, because when I was born, she made a horoscope. And the lady who did my horoscope said that she see me as a very successful lawyer.
Okay, and she was right. Yeah.
Yeah, and then my mom said, please, like, can you just consider that? And getting into law university was not very easy, but I made it immediately. I was high on the list, so I said, okay, maybe this is something where I can find myself. And immediately on the first year, I became very active for the school newspapers, for ELSA, European Organization for Law Students. I became very active. I saw that I loved the program, so I knew that I was on the right track.
And as far as I can see from your CV, you then, when you started your professional career, it was in the first place, it was not about probation and really criminal law, but more like international law, also questions of genocide or of human rights violations. Yeah.
Yes, it was. I started working in the Ministry of Justice, and I started working in the office that was cooperating with international criminal courts. So I continued my work on the war crimes in cooperation with the former tribunal for Yugoslavia, but also one of very important parts of my career was that I was co-agent of Republic of Croatia before the International Court of Justice in the genocide case, Croatia versus Serbia. And I really had a privilege to work with amazing experts, one of them being the Prime Minister of UK today.
Keir Starmer, yeah.
Yes, Keir Starmer was in our team, and Philip Sands, who's author and the famous lawyer, and Professor Crawford, who was later a judge at the International Court of Justice. So when I started my career, it was all about the war that happened in Croatia. So after some time, I decided that I really needed a change because it was very hard.
When was that?
It was in 2010 when I decided that I really need a change. And it was actually the time when Croatia was starting to think about developing the probation service. And I always knew that I want to be in the criminal part of law. This was always my love, my passion. So after working on war crimes and the genocide, I saw this as a great opportunity, as something very new and creative, and still in the field of the criminal law. So I had a really super luck to be among the first people who were developing the probation service in Croatia. We started in 2011.
And were you asked to do that, or was that
No, it was something that I wasn't asked to do that. I talked with the minister because I said that I need a change, and the minister told me that there is this development of the probation service and asked me if I was interested, and this is how it started. And I went to all the steps of the probation service, and I think this is something that is really amazing, because I started by working directly with the offenders when we started with the probation
Rijeka,
service.
right?
Yeah, in Rijeka for a very short period. I was a manager of the office in Rijeka, and then I got the proposal to be the leader of the probation service on the level of Republic of Croatia, and I said yes, because I had great ideas how to do more, how to make further steps in the development, how to do the next steps. And one of the things that I was thinking at that time was like, I'm gonna miss the Netherlands. I'm gonna miss, because I spent a lot of time in The Hague because of the tribunal and the International Court of Justice. And then when I saw that there is an organization, international organization, CEP, in Utrecht in the Netherlands, I said, okay, this must be a sign that I need to be connected. So when I became the head of the probation service in Croatia, it was a great time for international cooperation, because it was the time where we had international projects funded on the EU level. We started a lot of cooperation under the Council of Europe, and the CEP became a very important in our development. So for me, this was an amazing period of time.
Yeah, but you were also, after a while, the head of the prison department as well, yeah?
Yes.
So, and that doesn't have very much to do with the CEP, but how did that come about?
No, well, after the probation service became a very professional service in, I can say, very short period of time, gave great results, even received the award from CEP for the best development of the probation service. It was really recognized, and I was happy with what we did. I had talked with the minister at the time, and he asked me, what do I think about merging prison and probation service? And I said that I think that now, when the probation service is already established, this might be a good possibility, but under the condition that the Director General knows to appreciate both services, because they have to work together, not become one. So they need to appreciate the differences and work together for a safe society. And then Minister said, well, I was thinking of you. And this is how it started. So in 2017, I was appointed Director General, both for prison and probation service in Croatia. It was a really amazing achievement, because it was first time ever that a female got the role to lead the prisons. In Croatia and in many neighboring countries. It wasn't like that, but also in Europe there were not so many women in charge for prisons. So it was a big privilege, but it was also something that is very challenging and hard, because it's there's a lot of work to do with the prisons. So I had this role for 5 years. And, like sometimes, I don't know, now with the time passing, I see it as a learning lesson, but at the time it was very hard, because it's not that I was the first female in charge for the prisons, but it was the time when we had COVID. And like this was sometimes sounds like a bad movie. At the same time, Croatia had a terrible earthquakes in the same time of the COVID, and we had the terrible consequences. We lost 2 prisons in the earthquake, and I'm really happy and proud that I managed to run this big service at this challenging time with really good results. But after 5 years, I felt that I really needed a change, because it was very challenging, it was very hard, and 5 years not taking off your mobile phone, because the things don't happen from 8 to 4 Monday to Friday. The things in prison usually happen outside of these regular work hours. So after 5 years I saw the opportunity to become professionally involved with the CEP. And before that, I have to mention that because of my connections with the CEP and everything, how international cooperation functions in the field of probation service, I was elected the board member of CEP. And I was elected a vice president of the CEP, so I was, like we like to say, usual suspect in the CEP family. So there was opportunity there was a call for a new Secretary General because Willem was leaving, he was retiring, and I said, okay, I think this is it. I think I need this. I need to go back to international cooperation. I need it. I did a lot of great things for probation service in Croatia. I did a lot of great things for prison service. And now it's time to go international and to see what else can we do in this field.
And also to go back to the Netherlands for a certain time if you work out.
Yes, it's Netherlands. It's international cooperation. So it all came like, and it was nice because I left the service under this happy moment that I'm moving forward in my career, that I'm happy with what I've done, that I'm leaving to some other new persons to continue this work, and I'm happy that the development continued. So it was a good. There was no affair. There was no problems.
If I may say that, I mean, this is perfect career. You know both sides. You know prison. You know probation. And you really did a lot, even to develop a new service in that field. So this really qualifies you for the job you do now. I think.
Thank you so much, Joe, for this comment. And yes, it's like it's a benefit to understand both systems, because many times there is like a little bit of competition between prison and probation. So coming from a role where I was Director General for both, I can really talk from my personal experience. There is no competition. It's us together. We are on the one side. People who committed crime are on the other side, so we need to stick together. So this is important.
I sometimes see that a little differently, but maybe we can talk about that in the
absolutely.
second part.
No problem. I'll be happy to.
I just want to ask you two more questions that I ask everybody I talk to. You know that.
I know.
About personal experiences.
Yeah.
So, are there any personal experiences of yourself having acted as a criminal offender?
Well, I have to be honest that I didn't always obey the speed limits. So it's misdemeanor in Croatia, but I do have to say that I did pay a few fines for a speeding in a highway. I never put anyone in the danger. So
nothing serious, nothing that had to be prosecuted, or
no.
So okay.
No.
Yeah, I asked that because, as you know, many professionals in our field have experience, even with serious offences, and sometimes I think it can even help to understand the people we work with. But I don't want to force anybody to.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't have lived experience.
And the other way around. I mean, you were a victim of war, that's obvious, but have you also been victim of like ordinary criminal offences in your life?
No.
No, also no.
I haven't been.
Okay.
I haven't been a victim.
That's wonderful. Okay, thank you very much. It was a very fast ride through your professional career, also a little bit about your childhood. Thank you very much for the insights. And
thank you for asking
this. We make a cut
this.
here. I stop the video and then we talk about the CEP in the second part.
Good.
Okay, Jana, second part of our interview, we want to talk about the Confederation of European Probation, especially for people who don't know very much about your work or our work, the work of the CEP. So I think it makes sense, and you already hinted at that in the biographical part when we start with the history. The CEP is a little older than you are yourself, yes. And can you tell us a little bit about when it started, who started it, and why this organization was founded?
Okay, so everything started in 1981 in Royaumont, near the Paris, where countries gathered and said, okay, we need to do something on the international level, because, you know, something that I always repeat when I talk, when you are in the probation field, it's a very lonely field inside your country. If you want to compare, if you want to know what's happening, you need to check your neighbors in the other countries, you know, so it's like, it's very important. And sharing is caring, because there is no competition between the probation services. We all want the same. We want to live in the safe society. So if any of us countries found a good formula how to work, how to make a safe society, then it's really nice to share this. So Confederation of European Probation is organization, it's umbrella organization that is connecting probation services all over the Europe. So we connect the European Union countries, but we go beyond, because our members come from the countries that are part of the Council of Europe.
Yeah. And was that the idea from the very beginning?
Okay, from my knowledge, yes, it was the idea from the beginning to have a safe Europe all around. And actually, there are a few pillars and few objectives of the CEP. So one is to connect probation services, to make a link between them. Then the second important thing is to professionalize our field, because we want the probation officers, both those decision makers, but also practitioners that are there working with the offenders. We want them to be professional, because this is the best way how we can have results. And third, very important part of the task of the CEP is to raise the profile of probation. Because no matter that, for example, the Netherlands celebrated 200 years of the probation service, we have a long lasting probation services like UK, Ireland, many different countries with such a rich history, but still now it's not so well known about the probation service, what we do. Then also the name, how do we call probation services? It's also different from country to country. So to raise up the profile and to make sure that everybody understands that in the criminal justice field, we really need probation service. So this is what CEP do. So this is our core task. And we are trying to achieve this with a lot of activities, with
and we're talking, talking about probation in the definition of the Council of Europe.
Yes.
So it's more or less the whole range of community-based sentences.
Yes, and also it covers the conditional release. Yeah. So I would say this, okay, so this is not a lawyer talking, but all the treatment work that happens in the community is under the scope of the probation services. Okay. So we have to know that different countries are differently organized, but it doesn't matter. If you have at least one part of the probation task, it means that we are your organization, and we can connect you with the others. And one very important thing is that we don't want everyone to be the same, because we are different. We are different in our history. We are different in how old the probation service is. We are different in types of crime that is very often in the country, with the culture, but the values is what we share. So I always say, if we have a good idea in one country, you get the sparkle of this idea, you take it with you home, and then you tailor it to your needs. I always give this example that, for example, like in Croatia, we had a project with Spain, and they had a good treatment programs that were based for a group work. But in Croatia, because we have offices where you don't have so many offenders of one type at the same time, of course, we were thinking like what to do. You can't wait 2 years to start a program. So let's see how we can involve experts to make this individual one-to-one. So this is something like you have a good knowledge of something, but then you tailor it to your needs. Okay. And this is why it's so important that we talk to each other. And this is what we do in the CEP. We connect.
How would you define the core values, or how does the CEP define the core values?
The core values?
Yeah.
Well, the core values are this that makes us all on the same route for a safety. That we want to be human orientated, that we want to have a holistic approach to a person who committed offense, that we want to see the whole person, and that for us it's important that there is a human touch, that because this is in the core, in the source of the probation service, and that we adapt everything that happens to the needs, that we take everything into account so that what we do with the offender in the community is really something that changes life. So it's not only about the obligation that were given by court or the prosecution, it's much more. It's a double role of the probation officers, because on one hand, of course, you need to be the control, because you are working in line with what the court and prosecutors ordered. But on the other hand, you also need to have, like, let's say, like a softer side where you are really supporting this person, where you are helping with regular human needs, like writing a CV, getting to know how to find a job, like coping with the world, you know. So only when you put all this together, then you get a probation officer. So it's not easy task, and it's not for everyone. So we need to know that the probation officers are the most important resource of every probation service, because if we have a good laws, if we have everything can be good, but if we don't have a good professionals, then this magic will not happen. Changing lives is not easy, and it's important also to be very realistic in what we can achieve. We can't change everyone, because for change you need a person's will to change, you know. I
know.
Yes. Yeah. So it's also part of the work of the probation officer to motivate for a change a person, and to give the best possible formula to do that, and to help in this path. But there needs to be this will on the both sides. So in the CEP we do a lot of activities that help probation officers to do their work on most professional way. This is why we work a lot with the expert groups, and we target different needs in the probation service. So we have topics that are most important for all our members, for all the jurisdictions that are our members. So we talk about the mental health, we talk about caseload and the workload. We have a research expert group, because we want to make a bridge between researchers and practitioners. We want to make it more common that we read, that we listen to the researchers, but that the researchers also know exactly what we do, so that this is available for the practitioners. We talk about technology, we talk about electronic monitoring, we talk about gender-based violence, like everything that is important for our members. We are doing something in this field, and we are creating a different result that can really be of the benefit for every single probation officer and the manager, decision maker, DG. So what do? We are producing workshops. We do webinars for those who cannot afford to travel. We do conferences. We have like guidelines. We get documents that can help you how to tackle some issues. We connect with the researchers to do research on this topic. Also something that we did for the future of the CEP, we now have a special strategy for the research, where we work together with the University of Glasgow and Professor Fergus McNeill to see what are the research needs in the field of the probation service. So we are trying to be the best answer to the needs of our members. And it's very important that regularly when we have our conferences, for us having a discussion is very important. This is why when we have meetings with Director General, we always ask them to talk to us like, what are your needs? Because we are here to help you, to assist you. So we want to do everything in cooperation with our members.
And what I very much like about the CEP is everything you just talked about can be followed on the CEP website. It's a very good and very large website with all the information in depth that you just started to talk about, and also on social media it's possible to follow the CEP on Facebook, on X, on where else?
Yes, we are very active on Facebook also. I don't know if you mentioned it. And we have Instagram recently. LinkedIn account is very popular. Yes, we have Hanan, our communication officer, is really doing a great job, that everything that we do is immediately, timely available for everyone. It's an open source of a lot of knowledge. We want to reach every single corner nowadays with possibilities of translation online. We hope that we are more approachable to more members who maybe had a language barrier. Nowadays, thanks to technology, it's not a problem anymore. So everyone can read and get the benefit of this excellent source that we have on the CEP website.
So there are lots of internal benefits for everybody who's involved in probation all over Europe, maybe even all over the world, if you want to.
Even beyond, because we see that in our events we also attract professionals in the probation field from beyond Europe.
Yes. But it's also you also do a lot of work that's directed to not only people who work in probation, but to institutions like the European Union or the Council of Europe, or supranational bodies that you do lobby work for probation issues, right?
Yes, absolutely. We work very closely with the European Commission, and we like to say that we are eyes and the ears of practitioners, and this means that we are transferring information from the members, what's happening in the field of probation. We are the voice before the European Commission. We take part in the meetings, like now we had the high-level meetings for the future of criminal law. We took an active part there to say what's happening. The same is with the Council of Europe, where we are taking part in the PCCP group, Penological Council, where we really give a lot of explanations of what's happening in our member states, and where we are raising the profile of the probation service. And we are putting the probation there side to side to prisons in every document, and we are really the voice of everyone who is in contact with us, all our members. All that we learn from them through our events is transmitted to the organization, but also on the other side, all the documents that come from organizations, we are the link that will transfer them to our members. We will explain why, how, what is the reason behind the document, how do we use it, how do we have a benefit with that. So it's
the European Union also structurally accepts it, because about half of the funds of the CEP comes from grants and funding from the European Union. So that's a very good sign, I think. If people listen to our talk now and ask themselves, how can I get involved in CEP? What can you offer to people who work in probation, or to institutions? How can they get involved in the work of the CEP?
Well, everybody in the field of probation is more than welcome to engage with us. So we have a lot of probation services that are our members. So if you are working for one of those organizations, you are our member through your organization. But also we have individual membership, and we have universities as our members. So there is plenty of different ways how to be our member, and depends on your personal personal needs and possible time and will to engage, how much you want to be involved. We are always happy to see new people in our events. We are always happy to broaden the scope of people. So we have really a variety of possibilities to be involved. I always say, like, even if you don't have much time because you have a lot in your office and you have a personal issues why you can't travel, you can't be part of this, we do have a lot of things happening online where you can join. We have this series of webinars that are short. We make them in 1 hour and a half so that we can make it possible for every practitioner to join, but also for those who can't join at the time, we do have a YouTube channel where you can see the recordings of our webinars, and it's a really great source of knowledge because we have dedicated every workshop to a specific topic, and we are presenting good examples from our members.
And what would you say to just bind things up? What do you think will CEP look like in 10 years, in 2036? What are the main challenges? What's the way forward? What do you think has to be done in the future for the next 10 years? What are the core challenges for the CEP?
Well, for us, the most important is to continue this level of professionalism, because we never want to lose the quality over the quantity. So this is why we are trying to answer all the needs, but we need to do a good schedule so that every time when we do activity, we have a really good speakers, that we really have a good content. And what we want is every time when you go back from our event, that you feel that you are bringing something home, that you know that it was really worth being there. And on both levels, first we want that the content of what we've given in our activity is something where you learn something, but also we want you to go home with a new network. We invest a lot in having people talk to each other, because we know that this is the golden thing when we talk to each other. Because, you know, like, if I had to write to Joe that I never met, it's very hard. I need to be very official. But if I know you from event, if we talked, if we asked the questions, if we've been part of the World Cafe together, it's so easy to approach and to ask you, hey Joe, can you help me? I have this issue, can we talk? And this is the benefit of international cooperation. And I can really say honestly that the people who attend our events, they have a colleague in every single jurisdiction. And we are always trying to make this like a pleasant mood so that people feel comfortable and safe talking about their work. Okay. Because it's not easy always to open up. It's not easy to ask, you know, for opinion, for help, and to exchange. It's not always easy, but we really do in our events our best that we make really nice atmosphere for everyone to know that we are here, we are all here, this is a safe zone, and we are only here to support each other.
And that's something that obviously will be necessary in 10 years' time.
Absolutely, this will never stop. So it's really hard to predict because you never know what the future brings. But from my point of view, I think that international cooperation is so important, and I think that everybody can see the benefit of it. I think that, you know, because when you are in your office and you are working, most of our time we are dealing with the challenges, with the issues, with the problems. You know, the problems are taking majority of our time. And then when you go to international event, you have a possibility to have a helicopter view of your system. This is the time when you have statistics and when you see everything that's going on. And this is the only moment when you can say, hey, I've done so many good things. My work is not just this. This is, you know, the problems are actually minority in all our tasks. When you look back, when you see the helicopter view, you can really be proud. So I heard this from so many people coming. They said, like, I have a really new perspective on what I do. And also one thing that is important is, like, feeling alone is a very hard feeling. But when you come to event where you have so many people from different countries, small, big, doesn't matter where they come from, and they have same. We have same. Offenders are the same all over. So our challenges are the same. You just feel this belonging, and it's nice.
Okay. Thank you very much, Jana.
Thank you, Joe.
Maybe there are more questions, but we can do that online, and I put it into the video. I just asked the 2 standard questions at the end of every interview, 1 sentence answers. What would you say is the most important thing for criminal offenders in order to desist from crime in the future?
Be open for a change.
Okay, thank you. And could you also say what's most important for victims of crime to be able to cope with what happened, to find closure?
You have to find peace inside you, no matter how hard it is.
Okay, thank you very much. Short and precise answers.
Thank you, Joe.
Yeah, thanks for having me here.
No, thank you for coming. It was really a pleasure to talk to you.